Hello, welcome to Geeks Assembled, and today it's a superhero movie. 2016 Doctor Strange, starring Benedict Cumberbatch. See, I got it right this time. Not Cabbage Patch or Cucumber Patch, Cumberbatch. So, yeah, it's when I was a young lad, I used to religiously read the Doctor Strange comics. It was one of my favourite Marvel superheroes. So I will let you know what I thought of the movie later on, but we'll go through the cast members and see what their opening thoughts are on this movie. So we will go to our very own ancient one, Beef Dad.
Well, like you, Lee, I used to read the comics, but then I think I must have read them at the very beginning when they were first came out. So you had time to catch up on, so good luck to you on that one. Yeah, I loved the realization of Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch, he's just absolutely perfect. It's one of the most perfect pieces of casting I've seen in a superhero movie. And the supporting cast was just absolutely brilliant. The zealots are brilliant, evil but brilliant. Wong, played by Benedict Wong, he is great. He really is great. And Dormammu, superb. And well, yeah, there's some amazing performances. Yeah, I just loved it. It just starts and carries you along with it. And it was just so much fun and a really enjoyable watch.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Because not many people are into, well, some people are into superhero movies, some people aren't. But at least you liked it. We'll go to Susie. We'll see what she has to say about Doctor Strange.
Strange. I love the whole gravity effects in the movie. That was my favorite part. I liked it when it happened in Star Trek too. But I have the score kind of got to me. I'll talk about that later. But I really liked the movie overall. There were two things that bugged me: the score and somebody's accent. But besides that, I really liked the movie. It was awesome. That's pretty much all I have to say to start.
So we're going to go into accents later on, right? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Let's go and touch our own Dr. Disco. Kevin, what's your opening thoughts on Doctor Strange?
I was trying to look for the Blu-ray case, but never mind. Yeah. Just a bit wire. When I first saw this movie in 3D, man, what an experience! I was dizzy at the end of it. I was walking down the stairs, and I was like, what is real? And all my four friends, we were going through that movie, and we had to laugh at the end of it. It was a breath of fresh air after the Iron Man stuff, because Doctor Strange is going to be probably the main, one after Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So yeah, when I saw the movie, the 3D was amazing, and the magic, it was just wow. And Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, perfect casting. One, well, it was just funny. The Ancient One was just wow. And at the the middle of the movie, I almost had to cry. I almost teared about it. But yeah, I really liked this movie, so go see it.
Thank you, Kevin. We'll pop back to you later on in the cast. now we'll move on down and we'll have a word with Susan and Alex.
Yeah, I saw the movie twice. So the second time I saw the whole thing. I actually don't like. Oh, hang on. We're getting a message here. Can you guys hear us? Oh no.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I actually don't like Benedict Cumberbatch, but I admit he did do a good job here. And I did like the supporting cast, Rachel McAdams and this Wong character and all that. And, of course, the special effects are pretty good. And let's give it up for the cloak. The cloak that is cool. The cloak that knows how to high-five and choke and strangle and do all other kinds of things. And, of course, if you ever in a spiritual fight, don't forget the potato chips, if you remember that scene. The astral fight. Yeah, actually, and I like the in-jokes of the pop songs and Chuck Mangione and all that. So it was actually pretty funny. I did see some of the comics. I did like the animated movie as well, which was pretty close to this movie. Yeah, it actually was a good movie, and of course, if you really watch it after the credits, you get to see two bonus scenes: one with Thor, and the other one with the what's his name, Mordor, the other guy that goes rogue. Yeah, but it was actually more enjoyable the second time around.
All right, I'm going to do this really quick because I'm having a coughing fit. I really like Doctor Strange. I really like the movie. I really like the how it's revealed that his powers come to him. The cape that jumps onto his body and stays with him and becomes his protection, his levitation, his ability to fly, all that. I love the magic things in it. That's pretty fun. And the other thing that I really enjoy about Doctor Strange is, as Alex said, the music is great. Yeah, so that was really cool. And boy, Marvel is doing an amazing job. Wow. I gotta say, they're hitting home runs. All their movies are home runs, and DC is like loping to catch up. But it's just I can't. I don't know how they're ever going to do that. So that's my bit.
Really, well, thanks for that, Susan. Yeah, I've got to agree with what Kevin said earlier. This movie came as a breath of fresh air because we've had superhero movie after superhero movie, and they have become a bit boring and predictable. This one, because when I first heard that they was making this one into the character into a movie, I thought, oh wow, this is going to be a good one. How they're going to do their take on Doctor Strange, and they've pulled it off. They really have. As everybody said, the effects of the magic, the swelling of the streets, and it's just awesome. It's just a visual effects are just brilliant. Yeah, Benedict, he pulls it off. I mean, when I was reading the comics when I was young, I always imagined Doctor Strange to be British, but I've done my homework and I googled. He's not. He's I think it was from Philadelphia somewhere, something like that. So I don't know if the Benedict accent relates to that area of America. I don't know. Oh, right, Susie's shaking. All right. all in all, yeah, it's just a brilliant movie. I really love this. It's one of my favourite superhero movies of the past, in the Marvel genre anyway. Supporting cast is brilliant. Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, she just blows your mind in anything she does. And I agree with what Beef Dad said about Wong, the the dry sense of humour, and Doctor Strange trying to make him laugh. And as everybody says, you have to give a round of applause to the Cape of Levitation. What a character! It's hopefully they will play more on that on the sequel with the Cape. It's just brilliant. So I will go around to everybody else and now ask for their sort of favourite scenes, things they disliked, favourite characters. Seeing as Susie was shaking her head so furiously, we will go to her and we'll see what she says about accents.
Well, accents. We're going to start there. Well, there are many British actors that I can't tell sometimes whether or not they're British or American. For example, I did not know that Hugh Laurie was a Brit. I watched the entire House series not knowing this guy was a Brit, so his American accent was straight on. However, there are others that right away you can tell, like in the last Christmas special of Doctor Who, the guy who, the black British actor who was who worked for the company, who got his head chopped out and his brains chopped out. Anyway, his accent was so good I didn't know if he was British or American. I found out later he was British. However, the reporter girl, her accent was so bad I could tell it at the first outset that this was not an American person. So it's like a thorn in my side when that happens. And part of the problem is I am a fan. I don't even want to say it because it's a bad word, but I am a fan of Benedict Cumberbatch, and so I am very, very familiar with his acting style and the way he speaks. So that could have been part of it. However, for most of his performance, it's fine. But there are places where he gets such a flat vowel sound that I don't think I've ever heard an American speak like that. It's just so awful. And that really, it really bothered me throughout the whole piece. And I kept thinking, why didn't they just have an American play him? Because this isn't working for me. That was one thing in the movie that didn't work for me. And the other thing, because it kept bringing me out of the storytelling. And the other thing that didn't work for me was score. It was a fabulous score, but it was so similar to Star Trek. And I'm listening, and there's one motif where the chordal progressions are exactly the same, and it's a very odd progression, and it's a very odd moment, and it kept reappearing, and I'm like, damn it, that's the last Star Trek movie. So, as he said, or Dr. Strange said, I Googled it, and sure enough, the same guy wrote the last Star Trek movie that wrote this one. I didn't know that, but it was too similar, and it broke me out because, well, as a musician, I hear the music, and it belonged to another genre. It belonged to Star Trek, and in my brain, I kept leaving the movie. So those two things really bugged me, but overall, they were minor. I just adored the effects. The whole, again, unfortunately, movies seem to be liking the whole playing with gravity thing right now. We had that, what was that? Was it, not Gravity itself, that movie, but was that movie with the guy and he had to go to the future and they had to find the formula for gravity to save the human race? You know what I'm talking about? It was just out last year, and he was in these bookcases.
I don't know.
But are you talking about the Inception?
Inception.
I was to say Inception, yeah.
And the one with that cute actor that everybody thinks is cute. He's blonde. And the female character's name was Murph, and he kept saying, Murph! Whatever. Anyway, but that had the same kind of effects. And also the last Star Trek had the same gravity buildings upside down as I think this movie did it. It was even more and did it even better because the buildings were attacking it. It was so, so cool. But that seems to be a big sci-fi thing right now, is to have the gravity playing around, which is very cool, and they did it so well. I look forward to the next one, and I just hope that Mr. Cumberbatch, who is a fabulous actor, works on his American accent, because being a native New Yorker, and in that movie he was from New York, and being someone who lives currently in Philadelphia, I can tell you, I don't know where the fuck that accent came from. So, other than that, he was good. I liked him much better as this than I did as Khan. He wasn't a good Khan for me. He was just too little. But anyway, I digress.
Anyway, so first F-bomb of the cast. Anyways.
We can edit this out.
Nah, well. But, yeah, well, going to accents, I mean, he is known for doing accents really well. If
Yeah,
you've ever
except in
seen,
this movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You see him on all these chat shows he does, and he always does these accents, and he always comes across brilliantly with his accents. I was admittedly like that with the accent, thinking, but it's a movie, you know, it's a fantasy movie, just go with it. But so let's just go with it now, and we'll go to Beef Dad.
Oh, wait a minute, one more thing. My
yeah.
favorite moment in the movie, I think, had to be when he starts playing Beyonce and goes into the library and steals the books. That was so funny. Poor Wong. He goes behind him and then he steals them in front. That was, I think that, I know it's a little moment, but I really liked it. That and the gravity.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done now.
Okay, right. She's done now. We'll move over to Beef Dad.
I think you should have a lie down, dear. So, yeah, favourite bits. I loved the bit where he had been sitting outside the door to the Ancient One's place. And he'd been there for hours and hours and hours, and he was sitting there, and they decided that they would let him in, and they opened the door and he just fell in. That just made me laugh. Basically, the duel between him and Caecilius was just amazing. That was just absolutely amazing, and the effects were just superb. Now, as to his accent, I think it works perfectly well. Nobody says that Doctor Strange is born in America. He could be a surgeon who has moved to America and is working in America. To be perfectly honest, I've heard an awful lot of shall we say, the New England states, that part of the country, an awful lot of actors from that who sound as British as any British actor. So that didn't bother me at all in the slightest. His performance was the important thing, and his performance was absolutely perfect. It was spot on. It was as if somebody had literally lifted the character out of the comic book and put him on the screen. The physical similarity between him and the comic book character, the pictures, is extraordinary. But I also loved the reason why he has the beard moustache thing that he has, and the explanation of how that all came about. That was just so very, very good, so very, very clever. And yeah, like Susie, I absolutely loved the moment where he nicked the books, because that was just so funny. It was so funny. I mean, yeah, you get the glow would arrive and a hand would come out and nick a book and gone. And then when Wong's looking around, there's another one in front of him that nicks the book that he's been reading. That was just so funny, so brilliantly done. Yeah, excellent direction in it too. And Yeah, the music in places was a bit weird. I'll go along with that. But yeah, also Tilda Swinton playing the ancient one. That poor cow. I feel so sorry for her. How many films has she had to do now that's where she's completely bald? You know, I just feel sorry for the girl. It must be either damn uncomfortable shaving your head like that, or having to put your hair up and wear a skull cap. I mean, they are so uncomfortable to wear. I know because I've had to do it. And
beef that maybe money talks.
You sow the parrots, but that's another thing. Yeah, but yeah, I thought she was brilliant, and the death was done brilliantly. It really was done superbly. Yeah, that was another real moment for me. Well, oh, but yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Beef Dad. Kevin, what do you say, Dr. Disco?
Dr. Disco. Well, I really liked this movie when I saw it back in 2016. Yeah, it's. I even gave someone the movie, but it's still on the way. So for free. So I yeah, because he's a very good friend of mine, and yeah. Shut up, phone. Yeah, and he's somewhere here in the room, and yeah, he's going to get it sent up. And yeah, yeah, that's my and for everybody in the world, show some love for everyone, because in this world, you know, there's always attacks, and you just show some love, not hatred or attacking someone. You know, that's my big message to the whole movie. So yeah.
Well, it's good to know that it's the ringtone on the phone is a movie theme. Axel F from Beverly Hills Cop.
I was going to say, was that a movie theme or a TV theme?
Movie, Axel F. Harold Faltermeyer. But we will move on swiftly from that to our twosome on the sofa, Alex and Susan.
Okay, my favorite bit was when he was working on his magic, and everybody else was conjuring, and everybody else was successful, and he was sitting there, and he just like little sparks would flow, a little like a form, but you know, he knew that it was happening, but he didn't know if he was going to be able to do it, and so that was cool. And I liked the part where he wakes up and he's got all these tractions on his fingers and stuff, and he's like, "What did you do to me?" Anyway, so that was interesting. Let's see. I thought the part where he was fighting, and he went in front of Dormammu and did the whole time loop thing. That was really cool. And I don't know if that was out of the comic books or not, but it was so good. And I too am a Cumberbatch. Oh dear, I knew that you'd grown. I knew it. But I had to say it because like that's what they call them and stuff like that. So anyway,
actually, I had a worse word in mind. So
I really love the work that Benedict is doing. He's a good Sherlock, and he's a great Doctor Strange, and he did an okay con, and I disagree. that he wasn't good at that. I mean, and I see that his accent is, you know, it falls sometimes, but everybody's accent falls sometimes, and everybody's speech pattern changes sometimes. It's not, it isn't like a permanent thing anyway. So that's my bit for the favorite moments. Stuff that I didn't like, I didn't, I did, one more favorite moment was all the outer space stuff. Cause like, I mean, that was a really, really amazing. It was like the Star Child bit in 2001. And it was like the, you know, all the going to space stuff you've ever seen wrapped up in one visual, you know, symphony. It was just beautiful. It was absolutely lovely. And I was taking places, you know.
It was like he was travelling down the time vortex from Doctor Who in some parts of that.
Yeah, it was a
very, very similar design on some of it.
Yeah, like seriously, it was great. It was so great. Anyway, so yeah, that's my bit here, Alex.
Okay. Well, yeah, the accent did fall a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's probably hard to figure out, you know, what accent to do. And I don't know if Cumberbatch can do an American accent, but yeah, physically he does look like Doctor Strange. And like I said, there's been other versions, but like I said, it'll probably be all right in the Marvel universe as long as they don't give him a lot of dialogue, and they sort of cut it down. Um, yeah, I did like the mystical parts. I was like, what is this, Star Wars? What, Yoda? What's going on? And then the circles. Like, do we really need the circle? But we need the circles for Doctor Strange. But that was, you know, like I said, that was cute. Could have been a lot worse. Like I said, I like the pop culture references. I like the fight with the potato chip vending machine. So yeah, I mean, actually, I did enjoy this the second time around.
The dead people, the astral projection fight scene.
The astral self.
So when he went through the machine and the potato chips fell and the other guy got some more.
Right. Yeah, when the guy got extra potato chips and he went to go get them.
That's something I always wanted to happen in high school.
And then, of course, the dangerous thing about the what do they call that machine that zaps you with the electricity? And was that the defibrillator? I'm not sure what it is.
Defibrillator, yeah.
Yeah, so it sort of reminded me a little bit of other sci-fi movies and Flatline and all that where they were playing games. And kids do not play with a defibrillator. It's not a toy. So, yeah, it's, you know, like I said, it was good. I thought maybe it was a little overlong, but that's okay. Yeah, the accent wasn't great. But again, it is a, you know, a sci-fi superhero movie. So not everything's going to be perfect. And, you know, that's fine. Like I said, I did enjoy it the second time around. And hopefully they'll give him more to do. So, yeah, I actually liked it.
Oh, cool. Thanks for that, Alex. Right, what did I like? Oh, where to start? I loved the part where the Ancient One dumped him in on Everest. I left him there, and they was both stood there in the courtyard waiting to see if he'd come back. You could see the worry on the faces. You know, that was quite good. When he goes and does the time loop, as Susan mentioned, when he goes to meet the dreaded Dormammu, that was awesome. That, you know, he tricked him in that way. And the Hong Kong scene where he reverses everything. He reverses time, but they're still moving forward. Now that was just brilliant. How, I mean, I know they've done it. It was movie magic, but they were going forward. Everything was going. It was just brilliantly done. Yeah, and for me, yeah, I can take or leave the accent. It didn't really take anything away from the movie for me. It was, because to me, it's the story. And if you get engrossed in the story, an accent, yeah, you don't know about the accent. But Yeah, any bad things for me? I can't think of anything bad, to be honest. For me, I enjoyed it from beginning to end, right from till the credits stopped rolling. As I say, it's one of my favourites because the superhero franchise have been getting more and more and more, as I said before, and there's only so much you can do in these movies. Fight the evil, win the evil. And there's only so many times you can tell that story. So, and you'd be sitting in one of the movies and you think, well, this has been done before in Iron Man 3. This has been done in Captain America. But this one was fresh. This one, as Beef Dad said, they'd taken it straight. It felt straight from the comic, put it on screen. And for me, this is a far superior version than the 1978 version, what I remember. I can't remember the actual play Doctor Strange, but I know John Mills was in this film as well. This one is, it's very, very fun watch, enjoyable. The action scenes are brilliant, and if you like all your magic and mystical stuff, this film is for you. So, anybody got any tidbits from movie what they'd like to tell anybody about? Or?
Oh, I like the music in it very much, and the one part with the books.
Right. The music's been mentioned quite a bit in this. To be honest, I didn't see the resemblance to the Star Trek thing, but now I'm going to have to go back and watch the Star Trek movie. So, just to clarify what Susie says.
It's a very subtle. It's a very just a couple measures of chord progression that keeps popping back up, but it's so distinctive. It's through It's just because I'm a musician. That's all. If I wasn't, it wouldn't bother me. It's the same thing as with the accent, because I have to be careful with it in what I do, and if it wasn't something that I did, it wouldn't bug me. So other than it's just me.
I mean, there's mostly loads of people out there what've seen this movie and certain things have bugged other people in different ways. It's just one of those things. Any tidbits, or shall we carry on to final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts? Okay, then.
Everybody agrees with it.
Okay, well, seeing as you're on the mic, Kevin, final thoughts and your score, please.
I'm going to give this movie, Doctor Strange, a 10 out of 10 because it was amazing for me. An amazing experience in the cinemas. Amazing experience over here. A 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I can see where I never saw it, Simmer, and I can see where you're coming from. Yeah. Visually on the TV screen, it's amazing. Yeah. But if you were sat there in 3D as well, wow. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there. Susie, as soon as you're open on the mic, what's your final say?
It's funny. I'm actually a DC comic girl from the animated and the comics themselves.
Same here, but I'm not a DC girl. I'm a DC boy.
Yes, I can see that. But in the movies, obviously, Marvel just kicks ass, and I've never really been into Marvel characters except for in the movies. Of all the Marvel movies, this isn't my favorite. I don't dislike it, but I wouldn't rank it above others that I have really loved. So I'd give it about an 8.5. It's still good. It's great. I look forward to seeing this character more, and I really enjoyed the part where he's giving Thor the beer, and then I wish I had somebody who would keep filling my glass up. That was kind of cool. And I didn't.
A refillable glass. Yeah.
A refillable glass. I didn't see the last add-on. Was it something important? The last credit scene?
Yeah, I think it's sort of setting up the next movie.
Oh, I'm going to have to go look that up then.
It's only a small little scene right at the end.
Okay. But yeah, it was cool when Wong told him it was an Infinity Stone, and that he had to learn more. So I'm looking forward to finally getting to this whole Infinity Stone thing is very much like the White Walkers in Game of Thrones. You're like, come on, get on with it already. I just want to see it. Anyway, it was a good movie, and I would see it again. I think this was the second or third time I've seen it, so it's not like I hated it.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. And we'll go to Beef Dad.
So, what I thought of Marvel's Doctor Strange movie, I loved it. I honestly really loved it. I think it's probably one of the best Marvel films that they ever had. I mean, there's been a lot of them. There's been so many of them being out movie by movie, like with the Avengers and everything. But for an actual Doctor Strange, like with this Doctor Strange film, it is legitimately good, I loved it. I absolutely love everything about this film. It, the, the actors that played, the actors and actresses that played the performances within this movie, absolutely amazing. Um, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange himself is probably one of the best choices that you could ever pick for this role. I mean, honestly, I couldn't think of anything else being this role because what I could see from the pictures and the comics and everything. I mean, I never read the comics, but like from pictures and everything from the comics and pictures online, Doctor Strange, the Doctor Strange character looks a tiny bit like Benedict Cumberbatch, and that's one of the things I think is perfect, perfect for him to play this part, and I mean, he did an excellent job playing Doctor Strange, and I absolutely just love him in the MCU universe now. So I'm glad that he got to have this opportunity and play in this role. I mean, I love him in I love him in Sherlock. I mean, he was fantastic in that, and I think he was Sherlock Holmes in I think my personal favorite Sherlock Holmes when he was playing that part. I haven't seen any other Sherlock Holmes but him, but in any case, he's mostly great in everything that he's in. I mean, I even liked him in Star Trek. But in any case, back to Doctor Strange. This is just one of the best performances of him as that role. The storytelling was actually not that bad. It was actually a pretty good story with course of the movie itself. It was pretty good. Well, more than pretty good. Like I said, I loved it. So, the what was it? Oh, I absolutely love the visual and special effects within this film. I think that's pretty much one of the best things within this film, other than the actors and performances within the movie. The visual and special effects remind me, like with the buildings and everything going all sideways and upside down and everything. That reminds me of Inception. Kind of had like that. Kind of to me had like those felt like an Inception type of thing, and I thought that was pretty cool. And the other thing I absolutely love was the orchestra, the music for the movie, because actually one of the things that kind of reminded me of pretty much within a few scenes within the movie, It reminded me of like kind of sort of reminded me and sounded like it reminded me of J.J. Abrams' Star Trek film. Like it had that like theme and orchestra that it had within that Star Trek film, and some of the orchestra and everything kind of reminded me of that. It sounded like a little bit familiar, and maybe they put a little, maybe they, I don't know if they intentionally to do that, but it kind of sounded like that in any course of the movie. The actor that played Mondu, he was actually, I actually like that character as well. I think he was part of, I think he's pretty much a cool character within that movie as well. So, and I mean, throughout the whole course of the film, you get to see like you get to see like what this character's about and how he thinks the way that well, not thinks, but you get to see like how his character with is and within this, I guess you would say, within this teachings. I don't know what else you could call it. Like the way that like you would use these powers and sorcery within the way you're supposed to use it. And I mean, yeah, Mondu is the Mondu. Sorry, but Mondu is I think one of the most interesting course of characters within this film, and he was just, well, reason why it's so interesting because you get to see like everything throughout the course of the film. You get to see how he progresses as the character and what he thinks like should happen and what's going on. What should be going on for Strange to how he should run within his teachings for him to actually do this sorcery and type of thing. And the villain was great. I forgot his name, but the guy who played the villain, the guy who played the villain was absolutely great as that villain. Yeah, so it used to, throughout all the superhero movies or whatever, some movies would have actors not portraying a villain as good as one movie, but this actor, I think, would probably be, I found his portrayal of this villain, which I can't really remember his name, but in any case, but he did play a decent villain. Can't even remember his acting name. So the villain, but in general standpoint, the villain was good. He was pretty much a good, decent villain for this film. Another personal favorite of characters I think would be within this film is the Ancient One, and the Ancient One is like this cool. Oh, she's the head sorcerer of this within the Doctor Strange movie, and she was absolutely one of the coolest characters I've ever seen within a superhero movie. And but unfortunately, she got killed within the movie. But it's a shame that she got killed off. But because I was mostly looking forward if she was still around. I mean, if they didn't kill off the character, I was looking forward to seeing in more movies because she was so cool. And actually, the actress that plays the Ancient One, I didn't even realize, and I saw this just a couple minutes ago. She was in Chronicles of Narnia, the Chronicles of Narnia movie. She played the villain in that, and I found that pretty interesting. But she's great in Doctor Strange. She's again one of the coolest characters I've seen in this movie. Now, with Doctor Strange, this Doctor Strange character, because I've seen both of the after credit scenes, and as you all know, they have after credit scenes, and it leads up to the next films within this franchise or whatever within the MCU. And apparently they're setting up for, like, for instance, Doctor Strange to be in Thor, and I guess the second one I may be reading this on, but it looks like Mandu character, from what happened from the course of like the end of the movie, it may look like that he might be an antagonist within the second Doctor Strange film, or a villain or whatever. So yeah. Favorite moments I think would be within this film is that beginning scene, like with the Ancient One going up against all the bad guys without the monastery, I guess you would call it, of all the sorceresses and everything, and also outside they go up on top of buildings. I thought that was cool stuff and everything. Again, it kind of reminded me of Inception, like with all the buildings going upside down and everything. Second, probably I have another, which is when Doctor Strange finally gets his all costume and everything, like when the cape goes down to save him after he's falling down like a thing of stairs, and then he floats up with the cape, and it has like this orchestra of, like, again, it kind of reminded me of like the Star Trek movies. So, and again, mostly all the cool stuff I mostly liked within this movie is just like the visual and special effects, and like all the fights done so coordinated, fight sequences and everything that go along with it. I think pretty much all of that is cool. Like all badass, you know. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed and loved this film. probably is one of the coolest films that the MCU ever made. Well, I wouldn't say ever made, but it's one of the best. Because because as MCU movies go, it depends on what studio and the script and then the story, actors and everything. It depends like how well they do it. So, but Doctor Strange, it is a legitimately good, enjoyable movie. I loved it. So I can't wait for the second one to come out. But I got a whole long to wait. There's a couple more movies until that. But we get to see him from what I could tell and hear, I think there's a brief thing of him within Thor, the next Thor movie. And also he'll be in the Infinity War movie, Avengers Infinity War. So, yeah. So I probably would rate this film, I would probably rate this film 10 out of 10, in my opinion, of a Doctor Strange movie. I also read and heard that there's a like an old 1970s or 80s version of Doctor Strange, and I've been meaning to check that one out. I know it's not connected in any way or to these Marvel films and to this Doctor Strange film, but I would at least like to see how that one is from that time era. So, yeah, maybe I'll take a look at that, check that one out next when I have the time, or when I get the chance. But overall, like I said, I enjoyed this film. I loved it, and I give this rating again. I said a second ago, 10 out of 10. This film is awesome.
Yes. My other sort of favourite character in it is his girlfriend, the Doctor, and the way he keeps turning up at the hospital. And the moment where she was working on him, and his astral body came out and then spoke to her and told her what to do. That was just absolutely superb. Very, very, very clever. Very funny. Yeah, it's a 10. It's a 10.
That's a 10 from the Ancient One. So we'll go to Susan and Alex for their final say and scores.
I loved it. It was fun. It was a great romp and a really exciting movie. Really dizzying. I can't imagine seeing it in 3D at the theater. Oh my gosh. I think I'd be like, a little topsy-turvy. Oh my gosh. Wow. Dizzy and sick and stuff. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's like fun movie to see though, and fun to watch. And so I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Cool.
Okay, well, the scene at the end, I guess Mordor goes rogue and bitter and takes away what? I think it was his name? Pearson, I think it was. Takes away his powers. The only other thing, I guess it was $165 million to make, but it grossed double that, if not more. I was like, wow, that's a lot of money, $165 million.
Definitely going to be a sequel.
Yeah. Oh no! It even says Doctor Strange will return. Of course. Yeah. It's not Mr. Stephen Strange, and it's not. It's Doctor Strange, not Doctor Stephen or Master Stephen Strange. So it's kind of funny. I don't know if he, realized that he was sort of going to be a wizard or a sorcerer or whatever. But yeah, it was actually, like I said, it was an enjoyable movie. Marvel does know what it's doing, but at least DC had Wonder Woman. So if they can keep on the same track, and of course you had the Stan Lee cameo as well, which you have to have in every Marvel movie. And hopefully he stays alive for another 7 years so he can make it to 100.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's only a few faults with it, and it's not even big. So I'll give it a 9, and I think it's just the story was sort of a clever in-joke. Even playing the Chuck Mangione, music, and then they're sort of making fun of Wikipedia, and they're making fun of the flugelhorn, and they're making fun of when it was released. When they were, making fun of when it was released, because everybody forgets that, there's plenty of charts and it gets confusing as to whether you're talking about the American, the British, or the whole realm of released music back then. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 9 just because of the way they did it. And yeah, the special effects are dizzying. It's like, is this a little bit of an Escher with the Tetris thrown in? I'm not quite sure. But like I said, it is better than what they could do in 1978 with the TV movie. It's not as good as the animated version, which I also had on Netflix. But again, it's different from animation than doing live action. So for live action, they did a very good job.
Thanks for that, Alex. Me, this will be the third time I've watched this movie, and it must be good because I haven't got bored of it. As I said, I've loved it from beginning to end. No bad things in it for me. It's going to be a 10. I love Doctor Strange character in the comics, and I love him in this movie as well. So, on that note, we will put this one to bed. So I'd like to say thank you to all these guys here for talking what we like to talk about. Movies, TV, anything. We're just enthusiastic about what we like to talk about. Please, hit the like or hit the dislike button. I don't care. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also on Twitter. Follow us at Geeks Assembled. We're on Tumblr. We've got a public Facebook page. Just type in Geeks Assembled and we should pop up somewhere in there. And before I forget, I'll have to give a little shout out to Craig, our friend Craig, because he always gives a little shout out to us on his little videos. So Craig Johnson out there, he's got a little YouTube channel called Craig's World. He does a lot of unboxing of things and stuff like that. So give him check him out as well.
And our mate Graham McLaughlin with Drunky G's. He's always Drunky shouting out to us too.
And me.
Yes, not sober G, Drunky G.
And me, I'm also on the YouTube. You can find me on the link.
That's
Kevin
right.
Kevin does a few unboxing videos, don't you, Kevin?
And trailer reactions.
Trailer reactions too.
And don't forget Dalek Khan, who's not here today.
Well, he should have turned up then. Well, I'm not.
His name is here. The name is here, so.
Yes, we know. Dalek Khan won as well. God, against my better judgment. But anyways, thanks a lot, guys, and hope subscribe, as I said. Give us a view, and until next time, which will be in a month's time when we do another superhero movie, but as yet we haven't decided which one it will be. So until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Only the strange remain.